Let's start. Today we will discuss about data. What is data? And because in field studies, data collection is one of the vital element of your work. So, what is data? Can anyone tell me what is data? And what is the difference between data and information? Yes. Can anyone tell me what is data? Yes.
The data is raw information.
Raw information, yes. And it is plural, though it is used so often that singular is datum. We should use many times datum, but we use data. It is in usage, so it's okay. Okay, so data is raw information. Any example of any data? Anything you can call data? Yes. Anything you can call data? Yes. Any example of data? Yes. Is text file a data? Yes, text file is data. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sound is data. Yes, Arif, I cannot hear your voice properly. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Address. Address.
Yes, address is a data. Yes. And sound is a data or not?
So what?
Sound. Audio file is a data or not? A sound is a data or not?
In some senses, it can be the data.
Yes, it's a data. And pictures are data. Maps, pictures are data or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, pictures are data.
Yes, sir.
Many formats, JPG, PNG, many formats. Picture is data. In all formats, it is data. Depends on your requirement and your processing. Okay. And video file is a data. Yes. Audio interviews are data. Right? So when it becomes information, yes, when the data becomes information, it's a raw piece of information. Yes, Arif.
Sir, when we convert it into a meaningful form.
Yes, meaningful. And how can we decide that it is meaningful? What is the criterion or what is the parameter of its being meaningful in research or projects?
Sir, when it refers to something.
Yes, Huba?
When it refers to something.
Refers to something and someone
when we get knowledge about it or
in front of someone.
It should be, yes, Arif?
It should be inclusive.
It should be processed, but what characteristic or what
It has to be
compact? Yes. That is another matter. Yes, but when the data is called information, when you say that it is information, yes.
So when data is not in the orderly form in a kind of series. And
yes. When you say data is raw information. Yes.
Sir, data is in raw form. So when
Yes, data is in raw form. Any bits of pieces of data. Yes, Aisha, what you are saying?
So when the information helps human beings in any decision-making process.
Yes, exactly. Data after processing, Aisha, you are very right. Data after processing becomes information, and we define information, that piece of data on which, yes, Aisha, what you are saying? Can you repeat?
It
Helps.
So when it helps human beings in
Yes.
their decision-making process.
Helps us in decision making. Very important parameter. decision making, when it helps in, when it is in such a form that it can be helpful in decision making. Yes, first thing. And second important thing is when some action can be taken, when can some action can be taken on the basis of that information, then it is useful information. Yes, isn't it? Decisions can be made and actions can be taken. There are two important parameters to consider any data as information. After processing also, processing is there, but sometimes it doesn't help. So there are some very important characteristics of data. First we will discuss about those characteristics, and then we will discuss the type of data. What special characteristic information can be? Now it is information we are talking about. Data became information, and information is meaningful, can be acted on or helps us in decision making. Yes. Yes. It should be timely. When we need it, it should be timely. Yes. If the data is not timely, then it is not useful. And useful information is information. And it should be relevant. It should be timely, it should be relevant. And it should be, yes.
So it should be available.
Yeah, it should be available. That comes under timely. And it should be accurate. Accuracy, a certain level of accuracy should be there. You can consider certain level of accuracy. Timely, relevant, accurate, and yes.
So consistent and complete.
Consistent and complete. Yes. Consistent and complete. So this information should be timely, it should be relevant, it should be accurate, certain accuracy level is there, it should not be haphazard, and it should be consistent and complete. Yes. And one more adjective you can add, that it should be organized form. It should be in organized. At least some organization should be there. If it is haphazard, then it is not useful. And useful information is information, otherwise it is data, raw data. Right? So, we will talk about data cycle and data conversion afterwards. But I will ask you, what do you know any type of data? Do you know anything about types of data? Yes. Yes? What types of data are there?
So primary data and secondary data.
Yes. A very important classification is primary data. There are other classifications also. Primary and secondary.
Secondary data.
Yes. Now we will talk a little about primary and secondary. What is primary data? What do you understand by primary data?
So primary data is the collection by researcher.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, in the primary data, the collector is the same who utilize the data.
Yes. Okay. And if I have a just let me ask a question here, a query. I'm handling a project. I don't collect all the data. My team collects the data. So is it primary for me or not? I'm not collecting data.
It is secondary
So
data.
it is secondary.
No, it is not secondary. Yes, Arham. Because because the criterion is something different. It is primary for me because one cannot collect all the data. One has to have a team, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it is
Yes.
primary data. Achha, what is secondary data? First we come to secondary data, then we will come to primary data. We will return to primary data. Yes.
Sir, secondary data is that data.
Yes, secondary data is yes.
So examples of secondary data are maybe government publications.
Yes, government publication are for sure are secondary data, of course. Published data is secondary data, of course. Yes,
So books or journals.
books, journals, and any other form of secondary data.
So websites maybe.
Your websites and any other form of secondary data. I want to clear some doubts about the definition of primary and secondary data. And there is a misconception that primary data is always better than secondary data. That is not true.
Secondary data.
Yes. Yes, Abra?
The utilizer is different from the collector. Collector is different and utilizer is another person.
Okay, we will discuss that. So, suppose one of my colleagues, any other sir is teaching you?
Government make a policy on basis of secondary data, just like a census.
Yeah. That is for sure that government published data is secondary data. We don't no discussion on that, no dispute on that. Rather, we can have a discussion, but no dispute on that. Published data is secondary data. It is certain. Yes. Okay. Yes. Can you tell me that one of my colleagues, one of your teacher, has collected a data about his or her project, and I think that I can use that data. Then, and he or she permits me to use that data, consented to give me that data. He or she is okay with that. I'm using that data with his or her consent. So it is primary data or secondary data for me?
Secondary data.
Secondary.
It is secondary data, but it is not published. One thing I have to add.
Sir, the information collected by other person. That's why this is secondary for you.
Other person. Okay. At least that you understand. I agree with you. Okay. Now,
Yes.
I further complicate a question. Further deep. We are going deep. Suppose in 2019, 2020, I had one other project and I have collected some data. And a part of that data, I think that I can use in my. I have that data. It is not published. If it was published, it was secondary data, but it is not published. So I am using in the present project, a present research. It was my data, my project, me or my team has collected it, and now I am using it for another project. Now it is primary data or secondary data?
Primary data, sir. Primary.
It is primary data.
Yes, sir.
Yes, here some problem is. Everyone agrees with Abra? If I'm okay, I'm further complicating going deeper into the question. So suppose I'm running two projects simultaneously, and I'm using the data of one project in another project. Then it is primary, and I'm the same. It is primary or not?
Sir, primary, sir.
It is primary. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Any other who agrees, who don't agree with Arham? I don't agree.
Sir, if you are utilizing your information collected by yourself, then it will be primary data for you, sir.
First thing I have to clear that if my team collects data, it is primary data. Okay, because I am directing that, I am involved in that. Okay, but if I am using the data collected in another project, in another in second project, then it is secondary data for me, whether it is published or not. Why? Can anyone guess? I am saying that मैंने ही एक डेटा कलेक्ट किया है या मेरी टीम ने किया है, सेम थिंग, और वो मैं दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट में यूज कर रहा हूँ, So it is primary data or secondary data? Strictly in theoretical sense.
Sir,
Secondary data.
secondary.
Sir, secondary.
Why it is secondary? Yes. Why it is?
Sir, purpose दूसरा है sir.
Yes, exactly, Abraham. The purpose is the key word. It was collected with another purpose. Okay? The purpose is the key word. So, purpose decides whether it is a primary data or not. Purpose decides it. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, now tell me, if my colleague is, it is not being published or not. Being published, although all the published data is secondary data. But if it is not published and it was collected for any other purpose, then in strict theoretical sense, it is secondary data. Okay? Right?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Agree with me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Sir, agree करते हैं sir.
Okay. कोई confusion? Any query? No. Okay,
No, sir.
Okay. Now we will move to another classification of data. The most important classification is primary and secondary data. Another classification you must have heard: qualitative data and quantitative data. Have you heard?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Another classification of data: quantitative data and qualitative data. Can you tell me something about it?
Yes, sir.
What is quantitative data? Yes.
Sir, quantitative data is that data which is in the numeric form, which
Yes. Numerical form.
Yes, sir. Yeah, numeric.
Certain value is there. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, someone was saying something. Yeah, someone was trying to say something.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with you. So, quantitative data is of two types: continuous and discrete. Okay. No, you don't. You know about know something about it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, continuous data is that data which is continuously publishing in which is in the orderly form. So जैसे sir 5, 10, 15, 12, 20 इस किसी एक specific gap से बढ़ रहा है sir ये data है किसी एक specific period of time से.
And discrete? What about discrete?
Discrete sir उसमें थोड़ा दर्द हो सकता है.
Can you give any example?
The data that has clear spaces between values.
That is continuous data or
Sir, discrete data.
that is discrete data. Yes. And what is continuous data? Can you give any example? Yes, Subha, you're right about this discrete data. And can you give any example? Can anyone give any example of continuous data? Okay, I am giving you an example. Suppose I am saying that 1.2341 meters rupees or something. Then it is continuous data. Okay? There are no gaps. You can take another data. It is in continuous fashion. Then it is continuous. Discrete is. Can you give any example of discrete data?
Sir, 3, 5, 8.
Yes,
9.
exactly. I have 3 motorcycles. Or I have 2 motorcycles. Ramesh has 2 motorcycles. Suresh has 1 motorcycle. It is discrete data. They are very confusing. They will come again and again, and there is much confusion. So let us be clear about it. Okay, a little about this. And qualitative data. What is qualitative data?
Sir, qualitative data is that data which will be.
So the data which is descriptive or theoretical.
Descriptive and theoretical. Yes, yes. Any other criteria? That is not defining criteria.
Yes, I am telling you. Sir, quantitative data is that data which is not in the number form. For example,
Qualitative. Yes.
And quality.
Which tells you about the quality, right? It's not pure numbers. It tells you about the quality. And these are about two types. Attribute data and open data. Attribute data. What is attribute data? Some attribute is there. Population. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It is qualitative data. It is about quality. It is not pure numbers. It is more than numbers. Okay? So an attribute data is about two types. Again, ordinal data. Do you know what ordinal data? What is ordinal data? And nominal data. Ordinal and nominal. On these names, scales are also there. Those having the same distinction. Yes. What is ordinal data?
Sir, ordinal data is that data which is in the orderly form, sir, with a specific gap.
Like, can you give any example? Can anyone give any example? Your answer is not clear. Yes. Yes.
Sir,
yes. No. Okay. Yes.
So it's a kind of categorical data.
Yes. Who is that? I cannot recognize. Yes. The Google Meet is not showing you. Yes. Yes.
Sir,
Yes. I cannot hear you. Okay. Ordinal data example, you must have come across certain surveys these days. People mail you surveys, there is a questionnaire. Okay. So there is a scale somewhere. And some words are written there. Satisfied, very satisfied, isn't it? Yeah, agree, strongly agree, less satisfied. And sometimes they tell you that the number on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scale, that is for statistical purposes. And they tell you that very satisfied is you will it's 5, and very not satisfied, suppose less satisfied, suppose it is not satisfied, it is 1. That is ordinal data in orders. It is not pure numbers. And we are giving it number, but it is not pure number. Yes. Yes, someone was saying something.
sir, ordinal data में हम rank दे देते हैं.
Yes, we are giving it rank, but they are not true numbers, isn't it? That is not their true value. We are giving them numbers. That is, they are not true numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4 number नहीं है वो, isn't it? So we are giving them numbers for statistical processing purposes because we have to process that data. And software doesn't take very satisfied, satisfied, less satisfied, somewhat satisfied. That are agree, disagree, strongly disagree. That doesn't take it. Although some softwares are there now, they take it. There are some software they can process the tweets also. It is a new word. Okay, but and then nominal data is open data is nominal we are missing. Okay, nominal data is
it is in sir ये इसके अलग-अलग sir name होते हैं.
Yes, it is name. It is name wise. like the name of your pet, the name of pet, the name of some subordinate, the name of worker, like uh, any pet name, you can tell me. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You give names to your pets like Jack, like Tommy. So that is nominal data. That is not in numbers. We are not giving numbers, right? So ordinal is on these both are qualitative data. The two main categories of qualitative data are attribute data and open data. Attribute, attribute data is further divided into ordinal and nominal. Ordinal data is like this is about feelings, satisfied, not satisfied, less satisfied, somewhat satisfied. We give numbers to them in surveys, but they are not real numbers. We are giving those numbers for processing. Okay, and then nominal data, it's names mainly, names. Nominal data is about names. We don't give any numbers to them. Okay. Now, what is open data? Qualitative data, one category of qualitative data is open data. What is open data? In surveys, what is open data? Yes. What is open data? Yes. Yes, what is open data?
थोड़ा guess करिए.
Open and anyone be published.
Open data, let's rephrase the question.
So freely available data.
No. It is not about. It is here. See here. Open word. Open qualitative data. We are talking about open qualitative data. Let's rephrase the.
Sir.
Yes. Yes, Abrar.
सर नेचुरल जो सर एट्रीब्यूट्स होती है सर मतलब वो जो जैसे कलर है स्किन्स का और वो इसमें सर ओपन डेटा
Yes,
में
about the skins and any question you can tell me on the answer of which can be open. Open questions, Okay, I'm giving you the example. How was your tour? Suppose you have returned from the tour, and someone, some researcher or someone is asking the question, how was your tour? Now you cannot give numerical answer to that. Okay? It is feelings only, and it is open. There are no choices. This is open. Everybody will have a different answer, isn't it? Or how was your shopping experience? These are open questions, right? Are you getting me or not? Is that
यस सर मार्केटिंग भी होगी फिर तो सर
मतलब देखिए ये सवाल कि हाउ वाज योर टूर, हाउ वाज योर शॉपिंग एक्सपीरियंस, जो इसका जवाब होगा वो जो डेटा निकल के आएगा, दैट इज ओपन क्वालिटेटिव डेटा, because we are asking open ended questions. He or she can answer in any words. He is not telling you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He or she is not telling you numbers. He or she is telling you about their experience.
Sir, then the answer will be different of each condition.
Yes. Answer can be different from each, and it will be different from each respondent, and that is very very difficult to process. But now there are softwares. At least they try to process that data. In research, we process that data. There are some software, although they are not perfect still, but they are progressing. So data processing has become very developed. These are the main types of data. First, there is a data cycle. What is a data cycle? Can anyone tell me? There is a cyclic process. Data processing and data collection is a cyclical process. So data, it is processed. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
There is, and these days almost all the data is processed in computers. So input, you don't need to write input because almost more than 90% of the data is processed in computers, software, almost all. Then after the process, output, as we were discussing, the information, the actionable and the information which we can make decisions on the basis of that. That is information, that is output. And what you say, what you will do about this output? Yeah. Let's see. Input of data. Yes. What you will do about that output? What you do about output? You take actions.
So the output is used in various kind of projects.
Yes, if it is used, and after that decision and that action, what you will do? Normally in computers, what you will do? Yes, can anyone tell me? That's a common sense question. It's not knowledge question. What you will do? What you will do with that output? Yes, you will store it. You have a great facility. You will store it, perhaps for further references and others. You will store it, isn't it? You will store it,
Yes.
and then after some time, maybe you will use that stored data as input. It can happen, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
In the new circumstances, you can have that data as input without collecting as secondary data, of course. Then it has become a cycle. So that is called this data cycle, data processing cycle. It's called data processing cycle. Okay, so it is data processing cycle. It doesn't look like, it is not looking like a cycle, but it is a cycle. It is a cyclical process. Okay, so one thing more today I have to discuss is data conversion. How can we convert the data? Yes. Suppose we have a data of height of people, height in meters, or we normally in meters or feet. Okay, height, right? You have a big data, big data set of height, people's height, about people's height. Let us inbox it. Then we can, it is data conversion. What type of data conversion you can do? Then it can be categorized in, people's height can be categorized in, people can be categorized on the basis of their height as
Tall, short.
yes, tall, medium, and short. It was what type of data? It was numerical data, quantitative data, quality and continuous data. Now it is the nature of that data has changed. Okay, and then you can further process it percentage of people who are short, are tall, are medium, are percentage. How much it can be converted in this data. Now it has become a little like qualitative data, although it is numerical still. But what is the interesting thing is we have converted the heights into categorized in tall, medium, short people, and we do all the while in our society, and we are obsessed with tall people, and we can further categorize in percentage of people who are short or who are tall, right?
Yes.
Okay, but
It can be presented in ratio format.
yes, ratio, of course, you can. It's one example, but can this conversion, can you convert this to this percentage to tall, medium, short? No, because I have taken a benchmark, and after on the basis of that benchmark, I'm saying that 20% of people are tall in that category. Suppose we are considering above 6 feet as tall, or we are considering above below 5 feet as short. So we have a qualitative sort of data. We cannot convert it into numbers. Number can be converted into qualitative. It cannot convert it into number, right? We cannot convert like this. And tall, medium, short, it cannot be converted into height. Height can be converted. It can be converted or not.
No, sir.
Okay. So that is the type of data. Any questions? Any query about it?